company got a really big night tonight. A lot of news kicking around, Jim. You, more than anyone, would know that clubs hate the bye rounds because they give their players a couple of days off.
Yes.
All sorts of trouble can happen, and it went horribly wrong for young GWS player Toby Green. We'll give you all the details in the lead-up to his wild night and the likely reaction from the GWS Giants.
And while we're on news, Gary, show cause is, of course, the buzzword around the Essendon Asada investigation. Damien Barrett will be out later and he'll be telling us who might be receiving them, and you might be surprised. So a little twist there.
Looking forward to that. Hey, the reason we're here tonight, a massive game tomorrow night. Adelaide take on Collingwood. The two coaches, Brenton Sanderson and Nathan Buckley, used to live together. They're catching up, having dinner tonight, and we're going to gate crash and catch up with those two men.
Oh, now one of the staple diets of the Footy Show over a long period of time, ladies and gentlemen, is, of course, Street Talk. Very special editions when the Force heads out to Reservoir, which he did this week. So stick around.
Looking forward to that. And, of course, we'll also pay tribute to the late, great Tom Hafey, who passed away yesterday, aged 82. We look forward to that as well. Lots to get through. Let's get started.
Crowd at the Docklands. Great to have everyone here. Of course, we need to get the panel straight out to get stuck into it. This is a superstar of the St Kilda Football Club who is now very welcome at Arden Street with the Kangaroos. And I want you to welcome Nick Del Santo to the Footy Show. Speaking of stars, former Melbourne champ, now with the Blues, Mclean's with us. About to make a comeback for Aldinga, Shane Crawford.
Very fired up, Shane Crawford. He is too. He's been out training today for his big comeback match on Saturday. We'll have more about that shortly, but I want you to keep the applause coming. Because this man is the biggest name in television. 300-game superstar, John Sammy Newman. Very nice to see you, Foss. Very regal-looking setup tonight.
And we're trying to keep, just like the AFL, are trying to keep people guessing when the games are on. We're trying to keep the audience and the viewer watching when we're on. No one knows. Some days it might be 8:30, could be 9:30, it might be midnight one day.
Wednesday, and here
we might not hinge off the news and...
No, we won't be doing it.
Gary, it interests me how easily the biggest name in television sits on our man these days.
He's walking out slower and slower along the catwalk.
He is. He's fleshing everyone down the line.
Hey, nice to see you.
What?
Nice to see you.
What do you mean?
Well, I'm just saying it's nice to see you.
What, do you think I might make it one day?
Well,
pretty soon.
Every possibility. Sammy, just on a serious note, a very sad week this week on Monday with the passing of one of the most revered figures in AFL or VFL AFL footy, in Tom Hafey.
Well, we, of course, were saddened by the untimely passing of Thomas Stanley Raymond Hafey. And we'll be having a great tribute to him later. And, well, he was a fantastic man for football, and that's no more point saying anything else.
No, don't need to say anything else. That was exactly right. And we will, a little later in the show, pay tribute to Tommy Hafey. Let's jump into this panel. Brock Mclean played on Monday night. The Blues are back up on the winning list. Nice to see you. Samuel mentioned it off the top. The old schedule's getting thrown around a bit. What is Monday night footy like?
Yeah, I think it's a waste of time, Gaz. The weekend just drags out for too long, and Mondays everyone's pretty cranky. They're going back to work. The weekend's over, and the last thing they want to do is go and watch the footy on a Monday night. So I think, I don't think it'll be around for too much longer.
Only 26,000 there, Brock. It must be tough for you boys. You've got to wait for the whole weekend to go, and Mondays come around, you still haven't played.
Yeah, that's the worst thing, just waiting around, and especially, after the week before we had a pretty bad loss against Collingwood. The last thing you want to do is wait around for 10 days to play another game. So that was frustrating, but, you just have to do what you've got to do, and we were able to get a win, which was good.
Shane, I think you might have been a bit cranky on Monday night.
He wasn't happy with the umpiring. Have a listen to what Brock says to the umpire.
Yeah,
fell like a girl. What a crack.
Bit of an out there, but
It worked. He got a free kick, but luckily enough, he shanked it, and I missed out on a spray from Mick.
It was nice to have a win, though, because you've had your moments, the old Blues, this year. You've had some horrible losses, but you strung a couple together, I think 3 of the last 4 now, so slowly getting back on track.
Yeah, our last month's been pretty good, probably bar the Collingwood game, and, there's still some areas that we need to improve on, and that being consistency and, from week to week and also in games as well, but we'll take a win at the moment, and it gives us good momentum going into the bye.
Hey, mate, this is the first time I've seen you since you got subbed off in a game earlier in the year, which caused all sorts of consternation. This is against the Tigers, round 2. You got the sub, 3/4 time, you're sitting there. This was the shot taken at the time, and that led to all sorts of accusations that you'd spat the dummy, and it was a protest about not going out to the huddle.
Yeah, someone asked me about this the other day and said, listen, if I was a sook, I would have sooked, 3 or 4 years ago when I was getting best on ground every week in the VFL and not getting a game. So I never sooked then, so I'm not going to start sooking now. It was a simple mistake of I didn't know that the sub could go out in the ground, because every time I've been subbed, I've stayed on the bench, and it was never an issue. And then I think the cameras just got to it, and typical media people just make something out of nothing.
Jim,
that'd be me. What we love is the fact. What's that, sorry?
Looked like you sook. It did look like you sook, mate. You must have seen everyone else wandering out, even the opposition subs going out, and you thought, nah, I'm not going out, and that's it. Stuff you. You did. It looked.
Well, you're never happy getting subbed. Who does a cartwheel when they get subbed, Sam?
Well,
it's a very good point.
I never experienced it.
We're very happy, Brock, because we love our regulars on the review, the grand final show, committing early to the next year. And here you are as Pitbull, doing a very nice job last year. And we love the fact that you've already jumped on board for this year, which is fantastic.
Have I? That's news to me. It's great that I've just agreed to go around again this year, so very happy to be a part of it again, Jim.
Good man.
We look forward to that, but before that, let's welcome Nick Santo, who's here as well. Nicky Dal. It staggers me in the modern era that you can play 7 games and have a bye. Did you really appreciate the spell?
Yeah, as bad as it sounds and as soft as it sounds, we really do.
Turn it up.
In all honesty, it's a tough pre-season and it goes for a long time, Gaz.
Come on.
And then you mentally know that you've got something coming up. So it's nice to work towards something and have the couple of days off and then back into it.
What'd you do on your little break?
Oh, I snuck down the lawn with the missus for a few days. So that was very nice. I went down there on a Thursday and got back Sunday. So.
Hung out with all your teammates and just bonded together with your new North Melbourne mates?
Not over the weekend, no.
No, because we got a photo of what you actually did, and you hung out with all your St Kilda mates. What's going on there?
Yeah, that was an accidental catch-up organised for 3 people when 16 turned up. That was a couple of weeks ago. But no, they're still good mates, and it's good to see them.
very big on Twitter, Del. I follow him. He's fantastic on there. But I was a bit worried when I saw this tweet. Fresh haircut, thanks Erica Marshall, 1985, from Man What a Fuss. Bit of waxing too. Please tell me you don't get the sheriff's badge.
Shane.
What would you get waxed?
No.
You're not a hairy man, so...
No, I'm not very hairy.
What on earth do you get waxed?
I had my eyebrows tidied up the other day.
Jeez, imagine if they did Gary's.
A couple of years ago, I said I wanted to experience the full works. I have done it a few years ago.
What's the full works?
Yeah, all off. And I haven't gone back, let's put it that way.
Back, sack and crack, you've just gone.
I've got... yeah, I don't have a hairy background.
You ever done that, Foss?
What did you say, the sheriff's badge?
Yeah, the sheriff's
Did you say that?
Yeah.
What is that?
That's your bumhole.
No, yeah.
Because
later
it does
in
look
the
a bit
show.
like a sheriff's badge.
I understand that.
That's a nice way of saying
Enough of that.
Speaking of Twitter, Brock, you've recently given it a bit of a spell. We understand what's the cause there?
Yeah, I think I was going to cost myself a bit in fine money. Just a few people just abusing me and getting into me, so I really had to bite my lip, and I just thought the best thing to do was to get off it and not deal with the morons.
Righto. Hey, last time you were on the Footy Show,
You
Dal.
nice and got the brace and bits this week, mate. Ripped the living suitcase out of Monday Night Football.
That's why we love him, mate.
That's
He's
exactly
forthright.
Comes on and tells
lie.
it as it is. Hey, Dal, last time you were on the Footy Show, we saw this, speaking of tweets. There's you, and of course Hep and Shane and that you've sent that out on your Twitter,
on Instagram, yep.
And then look what happened here. You got photo bombed by the Force.
Yeah, it was during one of the ad breaks a couple of months ago, and Foss realising social media is existent and wanted to be a part of it. I said, jump in the next one. We'll go to the next ad break and acted like a peanut.
I didn't do that.
No, you did do
Who was
that.
Someone else, was it?
Oh, well, you know, you couldn't, what do you call it, Photoshop? You
Photo bomb?
No, you couldn't put me in there without, you know, what do you
Well,
call
how
that?
come you're claiming it's not you then?
It's me, but well, I didn't go behind someone that's just juvenile. You've got a shot of me and superimposed.
Oh, listen to this.
That
is you being a tool. That's what that
We're
is.
going to put that on the mantelpiece, but now we've got to undo it. And it's great that you've committed to the review at the end of the year. So well done, Nicky Dell.
Thanks. I think we're playing 2 days later, so I don't know how that
Oh,
will go.
I like hearing that, Del.
Confidence, Del.
I like hearing that. Let's get stuck into the first game, and this is a big game. Essendon take on Sydney. Etihad Friday night. Both clubs coming off very nice wins. Essendon, of course, with some big ins too. Not sure if Big Belcho's playing. These are squads, of course. Myers, Howlett, Ashby, Collier and Hardingham come in. Jobe Watson is a certified superstar. What about the forward line business here? Franklin and Tippett, absolutely sensational, and they were brilliant against an amazing Hawthorn team with all the injuries, and Hanbury with 159 points did the job. Shane?
Yeah, they did. If you move the ball quick to the Swans forward, it's going to be very hard one-on-one, and you would think they've got a bit of mojo. I thought the Hawks were pretty good against them, that the Swans were just too strong, so they should continue on and have a close win against Essendon.
Yeah, I just think Sydney are in a bit better form, and Buddy usually plays well against the Bombers, so I'm tipping Sydney.
All right, Del.
Yeah, I'm also going to go for Sydney. I think their tall forwards really trouble Essendon, and Buddy is 6 short of kicking 600 goals, and he's got a great history against Essendon in the past with some classic running bounces, so I think they'll get over the line again.
Yeah, I think the Swans would, I think they might. They're going well, aren't they?
How impressive.
Everyone's lightened up there and they've got on with life, and Buddy's going well.
Hasn't dragged the whole place
Adam's
down.
going well.
They're all going well. They played amazing footy and they will smash Essendon because the Bombers... they are just going, the Bombers, struggling with form, and maybe it's to do with what is happening off the field, of course. The show cause notices are about to be issued, and who better to tell us exactly what is going on than the best newsman in the business. Damien Barrett joins us. Welcome, Damon.
Yes, Gaz, everyone's talking about the players when it comes to those show cause notices, but what we can tell you tonight is that at least one senior Bombers official, and quite possibly several more, is almost certain to also receive a show cause notice. We do know that Asada has been actively working on one case against a Bombers off-field person from the time in question back in 2012, and we do know that under the Wider Code, officials and coaches can be referred to under the clauses of the athlete support personnel. There's various reasons they can be acted against and asked for a show cause. Some of those reasons being possession, use or influence. That there's certainly one official being looked at very closely, almost certain to be added.
We're talking senior coach here?
We're talking a coach or official in the administration office, Gaz. There are several in the gun questionably, but there is certainly one that they're looking at very, very closely. And just another aspect of this particular case, there's a lawyer based in Colorado Springs who was crucial to the USADA case, and that's the American equivalent to USADA. The case is made against Marion Jones and Lance Armstrong. Now, there was cases made against those athletes in America without positive drug tests. USADA has retained this man's services since last May. They're continuing to use his service. We have spoken to him over this journey. He's never commented specifically on the Essendon case, but today, he has confirmed that he's still being used by Asada in the Essendon investigation and that he has travelled to Australia as part of it. And we did ask him, is he coming again at this late stage of the investigation? Would not comment on any aspect of it. But it is a significant use of a consultant out of America by Asada in this case.
It is indeed, Damo. You're going to be back with more news later on. And it is a salient point because a lot of people are making the statement that there's been no positive tests yet. Lance Armstrong and Marion Jones didn't test positive at all, and they were also suspended. So you're going to be back with us a little bit later. News about Toby Green. We've got plenty more still to come on the Footy Show.
Tonight's Footy Show will be as exciting as Megan's new baby news. Still no contractions for Bill, though. We preview round 9, and Damo will fill us in on all the big news stories. Also, which former Footy Show panellist will receive his baggy blue. There's revelry for Roscoe in a Reservoir Street Talk.
And we're coming to you live here in Reservoir Broadway, corner of Broadway and High Street. We've got Sam Newman here doing his street talk.
Your light's gone green.
And next, we cross live to Nathan Buckley and Brenton Sanderson at Sando's home in Adelaide. You're my best friend forever.
Cheers, mate.
Plus, our tribute to a true great of our game, Tom Hafey. That's all coming up tonight on The Footy Show. Welcome back to The Footy Show, thanks to Nissan, innovation that excites, and Home Timber and Hardware. Go where the tradies go. All right, we've got to get now to a very, very important game that's being played tomorrow night at the Adelaide Oval between the mighty Magpies and, of course, the Adelaide Crows. And the two coaches in this game are a very interesting story. Great mates, used to live together, in fact, and played together for a season at the Collingwood Footy Club, and they join us now over in Adelaide at Brenton Sanderson's house. So, Santo, welcome to you, and Nathan Buckley as well.
Thanks, guys.
Hey, Brenton, might start with you. Massively important game, and you've got a huge kick with the inclusion of the Tex Walker, who we love on this show, but your big forward's back.
Yeah, it's a fantastic story for us. You know, Tex has missed over 12 months of footy now, and to his credit, he hasn't put a foot wrong in his rehab process. He's been awesome. He's come back fitter and stronger, and in the 2 games he's played in the State League, he's looked really sharp. So he's a great in for us. Be fantastic tomorrow night for our fans to finally see the number 13 run out on the ground for us again. It'd be fantastic.
We're going to talk about the game a little bit later, but this relationship interests us. You only played the 1 year together, Bucks, 1994. What happened? Santo just couldn't quite slot in there. There they are, a couple of youngsters back in their day.
There was one game in the pre-season where Santo kicked, he had 4 shots on goal and kicked 3 points, and I remember Barney telling him that you just got to take your chances. He didn't get much of a look after that, but obviously went on to Geelong and made the most of his opportunities.
Well, we've done a bit of homework. We've spoken to your teammates in the day. They reckon Santo was the man with the women in the house early on in the piece anyway.
Can't deny
that. So you're sort of like a mini Rat Pack, you two. Who used to lead the duo into battle at the venues and the clubs?
I mean, Nathan was the one. I mean, he was. Nathan was before his time. He was a real professional. If any times that we were both getting led astray a little bit, Nathan was always the one that pulled us back into line. But I only played 4 games for Collingwood in 1994, and I think Bucks came 2nd or 3rd or something, or maybe even won the Copeland Trophy, and went on to get his first of about 9 or 12 or 9 or 11 or 12 All-Australians. So I was traded at the end of that season, but. The great thing is our friendships remain really strong. That was over 20 years ago that we first lived together, and I guess tomorrow night we're the arch enemy. We coach against each other, but the other 364 days of the year we're obviously very close mates.
Yeah, and you catch up every year. Derby Day, I believe, is the day where you and the girls get together and head out to the track, and you got one specific duty on the day, Bucks, and that's to put together the mixtape to listen to on the way out to the track.
I don't know where you're getting your information off, Gaz, but it's become a very important part of the day, and we look back at the anthems that have taken place over the anniversaries of the Derby days. But no, the 3 of us, Chris Dance would be the man in question. He'd be the mole, the one that's giving you all the information, and we generally enjoy that day.
And Santo, light-hearted Bucks, we know him away from the game, but can be earnest at times. I believe the 2 of you played some D-grade touch rugby, and Bucks took it pretty seriously.
Yeah, well, of course, when Bucks retired, and I think when any football player retires, the competitive juices still flow, and you still want to win, you still want to beat someone, and Bucks organised D-grade touch rugby at Albert Park on Tuesday nights the year after he retired, and guys like Paul Lecuria and Jimmy Clement and these sort of guys, and obviously Gil McLaughlin, who's obviously the new CEO of the AFL, he was involved, and we were lucky enough to win a premiership in our first season. It was 2007 or 8. We won the flag. So yeah, D-grade touch rugby was a fantastic night.
You
Some
grinning
of
or
our
have
boys
you
didn't
got
take it
wind,
seriously
Nathan?
enough. I'm grinning, mate. It was my first flag for quite a while, so it's exciting.
Now, you two are very good at impersonating each other. Bucks, can you please stand up and show us the way that Santo gets up and walks onto the field? Please, come on. Come on, mate, you can do it.
Mate, I don't have the right dimensions anymore. I haven't done as much weight work, but there's always a little bit of the chest out and a bit of the arms sort of sideways. Yeah, that one. I'll be looking across, and I'm sure that he'll be keeping an eye on his boys out in the field. He's got a very distinctive stance.
Yeah, and of course, Bucks, you haven't got the dimensions. I believe, and I ran into you at the airport last week. You headed up to Noosa for a little break with your wife and kids, which would have been beautiful. I'm not sure you had to get the beach weights out, mate, when you're up there at Noosa. I mean, it's just going a bit far, I reckon.
Those were the days, mate.
Those were the days.
Brenton.
These two.
Beavis and Butthead.
Before we get into the game,
When does the This Is Your Life finish?
this is Sando's place you're at, Bucks. Has he whipped you up something fantastic? You had a nice bite to eat?
The hospitality hasn't been great, to be honest. A cup of tea, and that was enough. But I missed out, and obviously, Sando's a proud father of 5-month-old Christina, and snuck in and had a couple of looks. She's looking beautiful and growing up big and strong. So that was enough for me, mate.
It's great to have you both. It's all nice and friendly now. It's going to be on tomorrow night, though. Adelaide Oval. It is a massive game. Adelaide taking on Crawford. The Crows went down Melbourne unexpectedly last week. They got some big ins. Have a listen to these. Ben Rutten's back. Douglas is back. Martin, a young man by the name of Charlie Cameron's going to make his debut. And look there, big Tex Walker going to line up at full forward source. Jacob's been doing a good job in the ruck. And what about the all-conquering Magpies? 5 wins, 2 losses. Rolled over the top of Carlton by 34 points last week. They welcome back the former skipper Nick Maxwell. Old Possum Eyes Tuvey comes in, and Clinton Young, Thomas Adams and Kennedy being omitted there. That's how good this side is. Nathan Brown, the premiership defender, can't work his way into this side. Shane, who do you like?
Let's not kid ourselves. Collingwood are definitely a top 4 side the way they're playing. I'm loving their defensive pressure, the way they attack the footy when they don't have it, and I'm liking that Adelaide are getting a few players back. I think it'll be close, but Collingwood 5 in a row.
Brocklesby?
Yeah, I got to see Collingwood up first hand a couple of weeks ago, and their pressure and their work when they didn't have the footy was outstanding, and they've got a really good record in Adelaide, and I think they'll have another win tomorrow night.
Yeah, indeed.
Pies haven't lost to Adelaide in Adelaide since 2006, so it's a new oval, but I think it'll be the same result. They'll win again.
Yes, Samuel.
Now, Nathan, have you investigated the vagaries of the new Adelaide Oval? Got good info on how it plays and what to expect?
Yeah, we went out there earlier this evening, Sam, and had a look, and yeah, it looks fantastic. The stands are much the same as Etihad Oval or Colonial Stadium in the day. When we first played on that, it felt like the stands were over the top of you, and Santo tells me that when the stadium's full, that it packs a bit of noise as well. So looking forward to getting out there. The surface itself was excellent, and the boys are obviously keen for the first siren.
Hey, Bucks, it's a good Collingwood side if you can't squeeze Nathan Brown in there.
Yeah, look, Brownie's was really stiff to pop his shoulder in round 2. Has come back and played a couple of games in the VFL, but Lockie Keefe and Jack Frost, both young key position players, but have continued to get the job done. So, Brownie's leadership and his attitude's been fantastic, as has a lot of the boys, especially in recent weeks, understanding that their job for the team will come in time, and that they're happy to play the role, whatever that is for us in the short term.
Well, one of those roles for the boys you mentioned will be on the Texan, and what we didn't understand is quite the impact you've had on him, Force.
Well, I liken the Tex and me to Gus D'Amato and Mike Tyson. Gus was, he befriended Mike Tyson and put him on the road to being the youngest heavyweight champion in the world. And I've actually adopted
you have you?
the Texan.
The Texan.
I have. I'm going to guide him through life, help him with the rigours and traumas of adult life, and I feel responsible for him being and going to be a star, and I'll take full credit for it when it happens.
Well, the reason we thought that was bull twang, and then we saw this come through from Tex not that long ago on the Twitter. I'm back, Sammy, and I'm going to kick a sauce for the Foss. Room at mine when you're over for Crawford's first game. Hashtag Cutler, hashtag Britney Spears.
Whatever that means.
I don't know
You've had
what
a
the last
profound
bit's-
impact on him already. You haven't given us a tip.
Well, it's going to take me a while to forget the Adelaide Crows losing to Melbourne, so I think possibly the Magpies might sneak over the line.
I do too, but I think it's going to be an unbelievable occasion. I think the game's been sold out for a number of weeks. So what it does tonight, these two men are seriously busy on the eve of this big match, have given up a bit of their time to join us on the Footy Show, and we thank them enormously. So to Bucks and to Santo, good luck tomorrow night, boys. That is going to be big on Thursday night in Adelaide, Jimmy boy. But then on Saturday, all eyes turn to Aldinga, where our man Shane Crawford is going to make his comeback. First game since dominating the 2008 Grand Final. We thought we'd better get over there and have a look at this beautiful place. None of us have been there, so Brenton from Aldinga Mowers kindly offered to show us around here, so he's wondering. That's the bakery where rumour has it Russell Crowe once pulled in for a pie. Then a short mower trip to the old Bush Inn, that's built in 1839, open for lunch and dinner, but
Couple
not
of
breakfast.
teammates there, Gary.
Yes, and some of the best vineyards in Australia in the Barossa.
Looking
But
good.
these aren't bad either. And to finish up, Aldinga's most infamous location is the Mclean nudist beach. Now, it's a bit cold this time of year, but Samuel, you are heading over as part of the entourage for this massive game, and
Street talk?
I think street talk at the nudist beach is a must.
Yeah, well, we'll be there, don't worry about that.
Don't brush over it. You will be there and you'll finish with Street Talk at Mclean's, Australia's first nudist beach, and you'll have nothing on, and neither will our crew.
Permission notwithstanding from the council, we can't just go and film people with their kit off and, you know, just take a camera down. Now, I'll be, in fact, I'm going over on the plane in the nude just to get, but I'll be in the nude, and all the camera crew will. We hope we can have some willing participants.
You're going to give it a good iron before you get out there?
That's it.
I'll give it a
good stropping.
I'll give it a good stropping.
Not that.
So when are you going to do that?
On
Tuesday. You're going to do that on Tuesday, are you? Street Talk?
Street Talk will be on
Tuesday?
Tuesday. So
might get a bit of a look at the sheriff's badge, whatever whatever that is.
If you are in the area of Aldinga, get down on Tuesday for
You're
Street
under
Talk.
arrest.
And Samuel will be down there in his finest.
And that last bit will be a special, so make sure you're watching next week. Now, we also put out the cry for someone to have Shane in their house the night before the game and to look after our great man. We were inundated with requests to have him as a boarder. And, well, fair to say, Gary, half of them we didn't understand. So the rest of them look like this.
Goat. Hi, Crawford and the boys.
My missus loves you.
Have we got a treat for you?
I'm just putting out my entry for you boys to stay at my house.
Push me and just touch me till I can get my satisfaction.
Shane, Billy, you can even have your nuts waxed in here.
You will have 3 generations of Sakari girls to cater your every need.
Good girl. Hi, Shane.
Here at the beach house, you'll have access to round-the-clock medical staff.
I'll be cooking you some beautiful Italian and Aussie schnitzel and pasta.
There's a TV for the footy. There's Rose Guernsey. And of course, there is plenty of piss.
Go Sharks! Go Sharks!
And have a ball down here, you're gonna love it.
Push me and then just touch me.
And there's serious entry, Gary. They were serious entries, and we appreciate.
No, well, people at home will think we doctored them up. They are actually
legit.
Ordinga people.
Which is very scary when you think about it. But anyway, I've chosen a winner. I've chosen a winner.
The girls, eh? The 3 generations.
No, those guys that were doing... No. I'm going to go with one of the club legends, and his name is Des Harrop. Here he is right here. He's a foundation member of the Sharks since '77, life member, former president,
78.
current day player, he's trainer, and he said that I can use his motorised scooter to take to the game.
Right.
His son plays the guitar, said he said he will sing throughout the night, and we can watch the footy, have a few beers. Maybe he can give me a massage, get me ready for the game, and away we go.
Shane.
So I'm going to stay at Desi Harrop's place, wherever that is.
That's fantastic. You were at Trinity today training? Who'd you train with today?
No, yesterday I had a run with Trinity. Yep.
And how's
today,
the touch?
Today I didn't train because just a
Well,
touch
don't
short
embarrass
of my
us.
recovery.
That's the other thing, Shane.
Yeah.
Well, you need to at least give me another month.
No, you're playing on Saturday, and we expect
Next
40,
Saturday.
at least 40, I would have
That's
thought.
it.
Brock, 40 would be fair, wouldn't it?
45.
45. And how many goals, Del?
A couple, and probably subbed off. 3/4 time.
Subbed off.
And go out to the huddle if you're sitting on the bench. You're allowed to do that.
Sam's going to be there.
Sammy
Sam's going
will
to be
be
there,
there.
and he's
Put it
going to
on
be
Fox.
my fitness coach on the day. And
I'm singing the national anthem. Mate. If I can just learn the words to it, Gary. I'm having. We used to sing "God Save the Queen" when I was at school. It's advanced.
can you give us a little bit?
No.
How are you coming along?
He's been banned from singing
just a little
after
bit.
last week. He's not allowed to sing at all. We're going to take a break, and we're going to have his mailbag up next.
The Footy Show. Oh, she's a big show next week. We're back to 8:30 and on the Thursday, and the Wolf on the Wolverine. What about this? Hugh Jackman and Gary Lyon one-on-one. Then we cross live to Ordinga in Adelaide to see if Shane can make a difference to one of the worst teams you've ever seen.
And we're going to celebrate this milestone, if you don't mind. The first man ever to do 200 panels is Bill Brownless. So we're going to go back over his journey as a panellist on the Footy Show. Highlights and lowlights, Jimmy, you don't want to miss it. No. That's Thursday night at 8:30, back in our regular slot. And it's going to be a very, very big show. Always a big show, but that one's going to be a big one. Always.
Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman.
Just a bit of one-on-one time with you, Gary.
Catch up.
Who you requested it.
Catch up with Huey. We look forward to this every time, this time of the show, of course, and it's Sam's mailbag.
What did you say then?
Hugh Jackman and Gaz one-on-one next week, and Hugh requested Gary interview him. Of all the available Australian interviewers, he said, I want a piece of Gary.
Why didn't you say Gary? Don't grin like that,
Look
you
at him.
you moron.
He's dirtied up because he's not doing anything.
it's not
Why
him.
wouldn't you say I don't feel worthy? I'll defer to a more...
To you?
Yeah, to me.
No, listen, I'll do my best, and if it doesn't work, I'll call you in. Why don't you come with me, and you sit outside, and if I'm struggling, I'll... in you come. Otherwise, stay out there.
I tell you what, you've got right ahead of yourself.
You can interview Will I Am.
I knew he'd do it.
I
knew he'd dirty up.
And I'll tell you another thing. You thought you'll quickly go to an ad break when
No, because we've got pace tomorrow.
Damo did the Asada stuff. You
Pace,
thought, no, I
pace.
won't let the Foss have a say.
No,
Good.
You, I'm
That's a
saying
good
it
thing.
now.
No, you're doing your mailbag.
Mailbag.
Show cause. What a
That's
nebulous statement that is.
Right, what do you got in your bag?
Not
Come on,
one
here we are.
indictable offence.
What have you got in your bag?
Have Essendon,
It's a big bag.
Marion Jones and Lance Armstrong.
Diddles
Get
of
on with it.
Doncaster.
Diddles of Doncaster. Whatever happened to that greyhound Gary had named after him? Well, Hairy Gary, you remember that greyhound? Yeah. I tell you what happened. It went.
Oh, no. No, that did... Yeah, force. That's not what happened.
It is what happened, and it says on the back.
Come on.
So hang on a minute.
I told you he's got the shits because I'm interviewing
Hugh Jackman. Look at
Well, as
this.
a matter of fact, I have.
Yes.
Don't have that
okay,
supercilious
all right.
bloody grin on your face.
What are you doing now?
I'm going to just test it.
What?
Oh God! It says it may have traces of
Gary, Gary.
No, we got that.
There we go.
one. That
Oh,
was
no.
funny.
Oh, no, force. No, come on. No! It had hair on the spoon, Gary.
You went there with that.
There it is. It had hair all over the spoon.
I saw a little visual gag there off the top. No, we got that.
Yeah, the old sheriff's badge again.
Try to get a third ball.
Yes.
Yeah, now hang on.
What does it taste like?
And I saw, says Diddles, I saw a greyhound named after you, Sammy, run the other night at Warrigal, and we sent you in the video. This is true. I'm in the yellow here. This is me. Look, go you! Look at me! There I am! Go! Look at the boss! What's the name of the bloody thing? Boss! You bloody ripper! Sure, you're going to win. Go on!
Look at this man.
What was that?
That is...
The Foss.
It's called Sammy the Foss.
Yep.
That's the greyhound's name in the yellow, and it won.
That was an unbelievable run.
And congrats to S. Dank for training it.
Oh.
No, I'm only joking, Steve. Stevie, I'm only joking. You're a star, Stevie.
Yeah, just jokes.
Suck that up, Gary. Now, Neredith of Tacoma.
Yes.
Mr. When they start Mr. Newman, you can bet it's not going to go well.
What do you got?
I am tired of your antics. I could have picked it, you dipstick.
Dipstick.
Well, Neredith would never dipstick. Why are you so nasty to animals in your mailbag segment? Always showing them flipping over balls or running into cupboard doors. Shame on you. Fair enough. Here's a human getting hit by a beer.
He needs a beer. Throw him a beer. Oh!
Oh, no.
That's
Is that your boat?
Now, to be nice and to be fair, I was going to show just a nice thing of a parrot. Someone had lost a parrot. Now, I was going to show this. This was the parrot lost, and then someone had to come and put on the bottom of it this.
Oh, no.
Says,
come on.
Someone has lost a parrot, and someone has now put another thing. A parrot barbecue will be held.
Bit harsh.
They have found
That's a bit harsh,
the winged feathered friend, and
bad, though,
they've stewed it.
Yep.
And that's right. John, Myra of Eltham. John, being a fellow pensioner, being a fellow pensioner, I am wondering how often you think about sex. Or have you given up altogether like me? It's not that I've given up, I just can't get it up, Myra. Canasta is my substitute for sex, or maybe late afternoon cribbage. Or nice walks along the botanic gardens, Gary. But I tell you what, you have your concentration zapped when you're walking, just looking at trees. You can't get your mind off sex. Have a look at this. Now, that, as I understand it, that is a tree has just scuttle-butted its fellow tree.
Hang on, Foss. Come on, Foss.
Tree. One more. What, you think I planted him and got him to grow that way, do you? You think I could actually prune them so they would do that?
It just distracts you on your morning walk, doesn't it?
But I tell you what, every now and again I like to go to the GGs, and even at the races you can't get away from it. This was at the races.
This is a Chuka.
This is a
Look at the back.
Chuka.
Oh, come on. If you want to be a part of this,
thank you, Ralph.
PO Box 9, Melbourne, Victoria 3001, sam.mailbag@9.com.au or footyshow.com.au.
Yes, the Kangaroos take on the Brisbane
Come
Lions
on.
Saturday in our stadium. Here's the rules.
Come on, Dell.
After being beaten by the Gold Coast Suns by 43 points, Jimmy Boy and
Yes.
Dell. Not good enough.
Lift
now, we're not
Dell.
going to go through the whole squads because it's still a long way away. We're only on Wednesday. So, Dell, this is arguably your most important game of the year, given that you got your pants pulled down by the Gold Coast. You're playing Brisbane, who are struggling a bit. This better be a must-winner.
Well, you're going to build it up anyway, Gaz, no matter what the game is. We were a bit disappointing a couple of weeks ago. It's nice to have a few days off and have a think about it. But it is a big game. We need to respond, and we're on a home ground, and we need to show a little bit.
And your own form's been very good, Dal. Quiet first up, but Essendon aside, you'd be happy with how things have gone?
Yeah, I feel like I'm settling in really well with the boys, and still trying to find my way a little bit in how we operate, but really enjoying it. And obviously when we win some games away from home and interstate, it makes it feel a lot better. But no, really enjoying it.
Go out for dinner with them every now and then to get to know them. Hey, your captain, Andrew Swallow, gets through training in the next day or so, is going to play, and that is great news.
Yes, trained today, did very well. He's been up and about for about a month now and done all the training required of him. We've got one little training left on Friday morning, which is pretty token, but you'd think that he's going to get through. So great to have him back.
All right, who's winning, please, Brock?
Yeah, I think the Kangaroos will be a bit too strong. As you just said, they've got a bit to play for, and after a disappointing loss to the Gold Coast, they'll be too good for Brisbane.
Yeah, they're a very good side, North Melbourne. They should have a really good win against the Lions. And I'll tell you what, Brad Scott gets very emotional in the box. I was having a look at this, and I'll tell you what, the more I look at it, it reminds me so much of his brother, Chris Scott. Have a look when we split the screen. I'll tell you what, they are looking more and more like twins every day, Jim. I'll tell you what, runs in the family.
Yes. I thought, well,
they could go down to a carnival at a sideshow and you could try and throw ping pongs on them.
I'd be interested in you suggesting that to them, Force, and see what sort of a reaction.
What do you mean you're just coming to grips with the blokes you're playing with? Or did you say
I didn't
that?
say that.
Yes, you did. You said you're trying to come to grips with how they play and be comfortable with them. What is it? It's not nuclear fission we're talking about here, mate.
Still
it's
learning.
A game of football.
No,
still learning what?
To play with guys that are different, and we've got Andrew Swallow coming back in that's going to play a little bit different to what I'm used to.
You get the footy,
you wouldn't
kick it to
understand.
someone
It's
in
a
the
different
same
game. It's a different game.
Oh, is it? What? Get the football and kick it to someone in the same coloured jumper. Now that is not difficult.
Is it
That's
that
all you got to do
simple?
is get it 30 or 40 times a day, and you'll be staggered at how well you get on with them.
Force, who's winning the game?
Hey,
who's going to win the game?
Kangaroos are going to win the game.
Kangaroos.
Well, we need to get to a break because Damien Barrett is on the other side of the break, and a big story is broken, of course, in the last 24 hours. He will have exactly what happened and what's going to happen next.
Welcome back to the Footy Show. Magnificent sponsors, of course, Repco, Watamoto Store, Waterbury and Sportsbet. Over 230 markets on every single AFL match. We appreciate their ongoing support. It's great to have them on board once again. It's great to have Damien Barrett on board once again. Rejoins us. Welcome, Damo.
I guess.
I said off the top, footy clubs hate the buys. They hate it when their clubs have a weekend off and their players get a couple of days spare because they hold their breath, hope that they're not involved with an incident. The GWS took that fateful call Monday night.
They did, Gaz, and tonight the news for Toby Green actually gets worse. The AFL website's reporting that his group was involved in a second incident on this particular night. We know that Green and his mates started the Monday night at the football at Etihad Stadium, the Carlton and St Kilda game. What the website's reporting tonight at the AFL is that his group was involved in a second scuffle, or first scuffle as it was in order of the night, in a certain area of Etihad Stadium. That a couple of guys were escorted from the ground as part of Green's group. After a man suffered a black eye in a particular scuffle. We do know that he moved from Etihad Stadium to Zagame's in Caulfield, where the more serious incident of the night has happened. Now, what happens from here is the Giants will be suspending Green. That is now certain, and the leadership group will be doing that. Callan Ward, Phil Davis, Heath Shaw, Shane Mumford and Tom Scully will tomorrow night sit down with Leon Cameron, and they will be going through what he's done. They'll be removing the police charges from their deliberations, Gaz. That what they will be doing is that he didn't inform the club quickly enough of what he got up to on the Monday night, and he's also breached injury management protocols at the footy club. He was on crutches on Monday night, believe it or not. He was meant to be on crutches. He suffered an ankle injury against West Coast and was carrying one crutch, certainly throughout the course of the night at Zagame's.
It's a big test for this footy club, I reckon, because it is a side predominantly made up of, young 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old men. So I guess how they handle it will set the precedent going forward. So you would expect them to come down pretty hard.
Yeah, tomorrow night will be when we expect that to come down. They will be quick. They will be decisive about it. Another free agent is off the market. Carlton's Michael Jamieson has re-signed with the footy club for 3 years.
Yeah, it's obviously great to get it, out of the way early in the season, and the club's obviously showed terrific faith in me, so it's now up for me to repay that over the next few years. I let my management deal with, anything that came my way, but I told him from the start that it was my intention to always stay.
The other free agent they really want the signature of is Bryce Gibbs. That could actually happen in the next 2 weeks, guys. There's now no talk that he will be leaving that footy club, and the club expects that to be done sometime in the next 10 to 14 days. Nick Riewoldt went off the ground, as we know, from that Monday night game with what looked to be a head knock. The AFL actually sought explanation from St Kilda for the fact that he did come back on and looked a little bit groggy. Now, what they've got by way of return from the Saints is an explanation that it was more a neck knock than a concussion incident. There is no drama from an AFL perspective on that particular matter now. All clear given, but the AFL did seek an explanation on it. And guys, just before I go, big story in World Sport this week was the NFL drafting, JB, as you know, by the St Louis Rams of Michael Sam. People who follow sport know that he's an openly gay athlete, and upon being drafted, kissed his partner on national television. Now, that wasn't well received by all sections of American society. And we'll just go to Brock Mclean, who's the AFL's leading anti-homophobia advocate. Brock, what was your take just on the mixed reaction in America to what Michael Sam did there?
I think the most important part of that was he received support from people inside the NFL, and the people who were criticising him and have a go at him were probably the typical American rednecks and, from an outside perspective. So, yeah, it was great to see that he got drafted purely on his football ability.
The 900 players in the AFL, as an industry, how far do you feel we've become? And do you feel the industry and the general football population is ready for an AFL player to do the same as Michael Sam?
I think it's more about the player, and if he's ready, then he should feel comfortable doing so. I think, Michael Sam seeing that and, go back a bit further than Robbie Rogers in soccer last year, and I think if there is a gay player out there thinking about coming out, they've only got to look to those two examples to see that they were really well received and they got the support and love that they deserved.
A lot of the NFL analysts, Purple, were very surprised that he got down as low as he did, weren't they? Like, he nearly missed the draft altogether for a player of his quality. So,
a lot of talk. I mean, that clubs did overlook him for that very reason.
All right, we thank Damien Barrett, everyone. Does a great job always.
That is just an annoyingly gratuitous act.
What?
Kissing your boyfriend.
No, it's not
just
at all.
excuse me. At the risk of being branded, no heterosexuals do that when they're drafted.
Yes,
that was a gratuitous act, an annoyingly gratuitous act.
You're off the pace.
Sammy, you always see shots of players drafted in, whether it be basketball or footy, if they're with their girlfriends, wives, partners. No. Of course they embrace and kiss them.
Sam, they did. It actually was on
nonsense to
TV.
say they don't do that.
Designed to do what we're actually doing, talking about
not
it.
at all, Samuel. And I'm not being contrary just to get a rise out of you. You're wrong.
You won't get a rise out of me.
But you're wrong on this. You are wrong on this. You are wrong.
An opinion can't be wrong.
No, but it's a fact.
It's annoying.
You said heterosexual people don't do that. They do, Sammy.
Not blatantly when the cameras are on them.
Of course, the camera had been on them for nearly 2 hours because of the exact thing we just discussed. And when it happened, that is a very natural act for them to do. And
have you ever watched the draft? That's what they do, Samuel. They have cameras in players' rooms, houses, on the verge of being drafted. No, well, you are being
homophobic.
Yes.
No, you are being...
Oh, yes, Jim.
Yes, I think you are, Force. You're off the pace. That is a natural thing for those people to do. Thank you, Purple. We're going to move on because Richmond take on Melbourne, and this is a very important game of football. Both teams on two wings. Both teams desperate to make it three, of course. The Tigers, we've only got squads at the moment because we're so far out. But the Tigers have Newman coming out, of course, and Pet Arden, maybe this young man Ben Lennon playing his first game, which would be very exciting. Melbourne, very nearly on the weekend against the Doggies, have lost no friends, Shane.
Melbourne are going all right. Yeah, they're having a crack, and I'm liking the way they're going about it. I love the way Richmond played against Geelong. Their last three quarters was the Tigers' form of last year, so they need to continue that. They should win this game and then flow on and hopefully make the finals.
What do you think? I think this is going to be a pretty good game, but having seen Richmond's game against Geelong, I think they hit a bit of form, and I think they'll take that form in on the weekend and have a win.
Yeah, I tend to agree. Gaz, speaking about big games, this is a huge game for the Tigers. This needs to get them going for the rest of the year, and I think they'll just get over the line in a close one.
Samuel? Yeah, I think Norman going very nicely, Gary, but I think the Tigers.
Yes.
Well, Gary.
Yes.
Quite seriously, you've got to be a lot happier with the way your club's going.
Yeah. Are you happy?
I am. I was bitterly disappointed they didn't win.
No, I know you are, but they're not getting opened up, and there's a great light at the end of the
must be
tunnel.
delighted, Gary. Just absolutely joyful.
Paul Roos has addressed the main issue, which was the heavily being scored against, and now they've got to get scoring again. But also, Jim, you've got to also take your opportunities when they present. And I was shirty on Saturday night. Well done.
I know, you were angry with me.
Hey, it's a big game for Richmond and for Melbourne, but it's a massive game given the events of this week. As we said at the top of the show, one of the most revered figures in footy, Tommy Hafey, sadly passed away after a long battle with cancer. The Richmond Footy Club have invited every single premiership player that played under Tommy to come along to the game on Saturday and make a guard of honour, which is a fantastic gesture. Footy clubs do it better now than they ever have before. Samuel, you would have played in many sides against sides coached by Tommy. I don't know, did you play under him at state footy?
Oh, I did, and he tried to recruit me to Richmond in 1976. Tom Hafey was a sincere, credible man who spoke to the rank and file. He made sure everyone understood what he was on about. He had a simple philosophy about football. He coached for 22 years in a row with Richmond, Collingwood, Geelong and the Swans. He took Collingwood to 5 grand finals in 4 years. And that is a fact, because they drew one of them. And discovered Warwick Kappa up at the Swans. So the legacy Tom Hafey leaves is the fact that there were currently, not currently, but 15 players who played under his tutelage, went on to coach AFL, VFL League football, and that is an absolute record. So he must have had some knowledge to impart, and people thought that he was on the money. And he will be sadly missed because he was a great, great man for Australian football.
Very, very well said, Samuel. Well said. His influence was profound. His ability to motivate everyone around the country. I know he coached Shepparton before he got to VFL level, and we've got a couple of the Shepparton Swans boys in the audience, and I know up in the country they're feeling the loss as heavily as anywhere. So our thoughts, of course, are with Maureen and the family, and as we go to the break, we pay tribute to the late Tom Hafey.
I owe a lot to Tommy for his example and his interest in me as a person, firstly, and then secondly as a footballer.
He trusted his players, he backed them in 100%, and he actually cared for them. He cared for all these people and their families off the field as well. I mean, that's what you remember so much. He really did support everyone.
My first impressions were, goodness me, this man is not going to ask me to do anything that he's not going to do himself. And that started an incredible journey at Punt Road that saw me play, you know, in the premierships and in the golden years, and I'm forever indebted to meeting Tommy Hafey at Tigerland.
Richmond are premiers for 1967. Hafey experiences the finest moment of his football career.
Well, Tommy had an enormous influence on my life. I suppose he's shaped my life as he's shaped the lives of a lot of people. Yeah, he's been a mentor, he's been a teacher, he's been a great friend, he's been a father figure for so many people who played under him and have come under his spell.
And I've got a lot to be thankful in as much as my time at Richmond coincided with Tommy's time.
He really cared that people did have a decent crack at it and looked after themselves and all that sort of stuff. So that may be even more powerful than his wonderful footy legacy.
His contribution to the game will be written in the history as a humble milk bar proprietor who played, you know, a handful of games with Richmond, and then becoming the most influential and dynamic coach of a football club of his era.
Nothing more tigerish than a bloody tiger, a wounded tiger.
Tommy's legacy, I don't think has changed, whether he's passed on or whether he's alive. I mean, he's seen as one of the greatest coaches in the history of the game.
He commanded the respect because of his attitude and his approach and his kindness.
You know, he's a wonderful coach. He's a wonderful human being. He helped so many people. Inspired so many people.
Everyone who's met him has said, you know, how wonderful he was and the simple message that he gave.
It didn't matter whether you polished shoes or you won Brownlow medals, Tommy was just equal with everyone, and everyone was equal with Tommy.
Look at Tom Hafey, the very excited, jubilant coach of the Richmond Football Club. What a tremendous win it must be for him. Tommy Hafey.
He's one of the, those rare people that people will look at now and in the future and say that they were pretty proud to know him.
The legacy of Tom Hafey will last for as long as there's a football code.
What a life that man, Tommy Hafey, has led, you know, and how much has he given to a lot of people.
Well, I just loved him.
Yellow and black, the Tigers. Eat them alive.
Welcome back to the Footy Show. Don't go anywhere. Sam Street Talk from Reservoir coming up very soon. But now it's time for Almost Footy Legends. And away we go. We're going to launch straight into it. And here we go. Look at this for a mark. Up over the top. Wynyard up against Udderston. However you say it. But anyway, beautiful mark.
Yeah,
Take it away, Nicky boy.
Don't reckon that's enough, Wayne. Number 2 here. Let's have a close look at this one. The big full forward, Steve Strauss and Dexter Fella. Worth about 10 weeks in the AFL. Pops up and snags it.
Wow.
Not a bad effort, that
Can we
one,
see
Shane.
that again?
Here we go. Knocked out.
That's forward pressure.
Pops up. Dribbles it through.
Oh, goal of the year.
Not bad.
What about this one?
Well, here's a specky. We'll have a look at this one. Sebastopol versus Lake Wendouree or something like that. Here we go.
That's pretty good.
Not a bad little grab. It's definitely better than number 1, Shane. So let's have a look at that again.
High.
Up he gets.
Beautiful. Well, there we go. We've got 2 beautiful marks and a wonderful forward pressure goal. So we'll go with number 1. Do we like the high mark? All right, so we've decided number 1, you have... No, OK, number 2, what about the forward pressure, the dump and the goal? What about number 3?
All Michael Powers, the third one, little specky.
Do we like the specky, number 3?
Number
well,
2,
guess
Shane.
what? Number 2, you have won. What a goal!
Thanks to Sportsbet, our weekly winner takes home $1,000 cash, while our runners-up get $500 each. With over 230 markets on every AFL match, check out sportsbet.com.au. Thanks to Home Timber and Hardware, our major winner receives $5,000 in home gift cards and a toolbox full of $45,000 cash. All up, that's a $50,000 prize. What about that as a way to kickstart the renovation you always wanted? So if you want to do it right, go where the tradies go. Home Timber and Hardware.
Well done to Damien O'Connor. Warrnambool, you are the winner. Make sure you send your entries to Almost Footy Legends, GPO Box 9, Melbourne, 3001. And don't forget to go to the footyshow.com.au website and upload. And we're going to go over to Jim, who has an all-time great.
Yeah, Shane, you couldn't have said anything more accurate. Our great friends at Sportsbet, of course, have got the new app, the Man Hands app. And a very apt ambassador is the great Stewie Lowe, everybody. This is a superstar, 321 games for his beloved Saints, 594 goals. But Stewie, welcome for a start.
Thanks, Jim. Very excited to be here.
I know you are. The reason why you are the ambassador is you have the biggest bloody hands any footballer ever has had in football. Give me a look at him, please. Put him out there. Look at the size of him. I wonder he could squeeze the air out of it, Gary.
Well, not all straight up either, Jim, if you have a look at them.
No. They're all crooked.
Well, and also on the tools, so a few, work injuries there too for you.
Just wrap him around Jim's head, can you, Stewie? Just give his head a bit of a squeeze.
Hey, now tell us a bit about the Sportsbet Man Hands app for your iPad.
No, it's fantastic, Jim. I love a bet on the races, of course. So I've been fiddling around with the iPad or the little iPhone for a long time, and now with the iPad, I can actually use it and I can actually use it properly. So, no, great initiative by Sportsbet, and I'm excited to be involved.
All right, beautiful. Now, you've also, I didn't get all of your resume out, not only 594 goals, 321 games, team of the century.
It gets better as I get older.
I know, and we love this fact. But you were also a panellist on our show. Stewie, do you remember that?
I do, yes. There you go, a little bit more hair back then.
That was your last game, or before your last game, 2002, yeah?
It was.
And what's your overwhelming memory of it, Stewie?
My last game?
Yes.
My phone's just gone off.
No, your appearance on the Footy Show.
No, it was exciting. I sort of shunned the media, but I enjoyed the night, and it was a fantastic send-off that the Footy Club gave me, which was great.
Well, as a panellist, you of course get a baggy blue.
Jim.
Yes, please.
My memory was he wasn't asked back. Mate, he did the one show.
Well, Gary, he'd finished his career.
Just retired.
321. It was my last game.
Well, you can still, if you had have impressed, he might have got another one.
You're saying that from over there. No. There you are, Stewie. And number 101. Round of applause for the great Stewie Lowe.
had him in, the big fella, and he was a superstar, member of the team of the century, unlike Spud, who said he wasn't. He was, but he actually wasn't. And Stewie, about to have twins, we believe, which is just great at our age to be going down that path again, so well done.
Very excited, Gary. I've got a little one-year-old as well, so it's going to be busy times.
And you brought the ultrasound in tonight, which we appreciate. Just have a look at them and tip off the old block. Yeah, thanks for coming in, mate. We really appreciate it. And good luck with the twins. Let's get on to the Stewie's Old Boys. The Saints take on the Gold Coast Suns Sunday at Etihad Stadium. Only squads at this stage. I think the coach, Alan Richardson, flagged the fact that Jack Stevens may be rested. He's got that foot injury. Nick Revolt, slight concussion, but we expect him to be right. And the Gold Coast Suns, how well are they going at the moment? Fifth. Tom Nichols is going to be out with a knee. Zach Smith, who's had a knee reconstruction, who could be one of the best ruckmen in the competition, he may even come back this week. So they are only going to get stronger. They're 6 on the ladder, 5 wins, 2 losses. They've got 3 very winnable games. They could be 8-2 and in the top 2 or 3 in 3 weeks' time. Extraordinary it is. Samuel, who are you tipping, Del? At this early stage?
Yeah,
this early stage.
There's still a lot to go. I think Gold Coast actually won. I think the Saints got a few injuries, particularly across the half-back line. That'll hurt him against the Talls from the Suns.
He's turned against
him.
on his old side. Now, Brockles, Gold Coast, how good are they? Have you played them yet?
No, not this year, but I think you're starting to see the fruits of all their high draft picks, and Gary Ablett just seems to get better and better every week. So I'm tipping the Gold Coast.
All right, Shane.
Yes, I'm with the Gold Coast. Gary Ablett, definitely in the top 3 players of all time. Has to be.
Yeah, all right. And Samuel, quick.
Well, I'm going to Gold Coast. It's amazing when it's played at Etihad.
I know. I'm going to the Gold Coast too, Jim.
Whoa!
Let's quickly discuss your Saints. Are you happy with how they're tracking? You're seeing some light at the end of the tunnel?
Oh, absolutely, Jim. I think their second half last week was really good. Obviously let themselves down in the first half. Third quarter, 2-7. So who knows? So I see a lot of similarities to sort of when I finished with the older boys. Sort of really sticking around, and hopefully we'll be there long enough to teach the young blokes.
Speaking about the old boys, one of your best mates is Spud Frawley, and we managed to dig this photo up of the two of you. What the hell? Look at you doing a half-decent impersonation of a gangster, but what's Spud on about up the back there?
That was back in the days where we were raising money for our footy trip, and we had a bit of a show down at Dendy, Brighton. I think we were featuring The Godfather, so...
Right.
Yeah, we did a bit of good work there in front of the camera.
Not bad, Stewie. Like Spud had a wig on, to be honest. Of course, Danny Frawley stepped down as the CEO of the AFL Coaches Association this week to concentrate on his burgeoning media career.
Yes.
We are going to take a break. Street Talk from Reservoir up next.
Lyon isn't happy.
See these guys you see here?
He's not thrilled with his team.
We're a mediocre team at the minute.
He's not thrilled with the new stage production of Wicked.
Yeah, it's a bit of theatre.
So we're in his old stomping ground Reservoir, trying to make him... Well, guess what?
Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof.
What are you?
What are you?
No, what are you? I thought you were a copper.
Nah, no. I don't get paid enough.
Yeah, come and say hello here. Look, Sammy Newman is very...
I'll just give you my name. I'm the Riv, and everybody knows that. OK, take it easy.
You know who he is? No. He's the coach of the Dockers in Perth.
Oh. OK.
I can't tell you what he does. He drives a bus. Did you ever drive Ross Lyon?
No.
He comes from Reservoir.
He does, poor bloke.
Yeah, he's...
I'm surprised he got out of the Dole line quick enough.
What's that, sir?
Reservoir, the Dole line.
Yeah.
Quite long.
I got a feeling you have no passages in the bus after this.
No.
What's going mediocre in your life? Anything?
Just life in general.
Life in general. How could they improve? How can anyone improve? They're mediocre. How could I improve?
Get them out of the league for a start.
Get them out.
Here come bad news, talking this and that. You're a champ, mate.
Good on you, mate.
Keep up the good work, buddy.
Yeah.
Let's go the Hawks.
Yeah, they backed up behind you about 400 metres, sir.
That's all right.
Bugger.
Say hi to you, mate. The missus too busy hiding.
There's the missus. She's embarrassed enough.
He is a little bit
bit embarrassed, but bring the camera forward a little bit more. There we go. Have a good one, people!
I don't know if you're married. I reckon you're
No,
pretty
I'm not.
sharp too. You're not,
No, I'm not married.
aren't you?
No.
What, are you interested in
No, I'm
getting married?
young.
Now, have you heard the song went viral on the YouTube called Happy?
I did.
A bloke called Farrell Williams. Or Ferrell, or...
Yeah, Ferrell.
Ferrell Williams.
Like Reservoir.
Man, it's just a temporary driver for the Reservoir bus line. Just a minute, I'm about to propose to this woman.
Where's the music? We don't have the music.
Well, have you got any music? You've heard of Pharrell Williams?
Yeah, happy, yeah.
Have you?
Yeah.
You've heard of Pharrell? I've never heard of Pharrell
You
Williams.
killed,
Well, we've got our music. We had Pharrell Williams' music.
No, that's a honky one. I don't like honky music.
Get that honky shit off, all right? Righto, here we
You're
go.
old enough to be my father, so...
Yeah, no, I would be. I'd be old enough to be a grandfather. But look,
Yeah.
what is age when you've got a mind of a child like I have?
True.
No, I didn't mean it that way.
No, it's okay.
I want to dance the night away. You make me feel like... That's what happens when I sing.
Hang on.
How can anyone improve themselves?
Anytime someone tells you not to do something, just do it out of spite.
That's it. Be a prick. I'll lead off and just do a couple of steps. We're going to put them all together and send them to him.
It might cost me my job.
Well, no, I reckon if it hasn't cost you a job already, I reckon this might save it. Now, here goes the music. Hang on now. Too old for you, am I?
Yeah, I don't know.
You don't know, so you were definite before I was.
It'll be like the Hugh Hefner Playboy one, used to know.
Hef.
Yeah, like he's got a young wife, I think my age.
Yeah, there are 4 of them. They just keep coming out of bedrooms. It's got a couple of main wife and a couple of spares.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, like
Well,
if one of them's out of action or up on
invented-
blocks or something.
Very good.
Perfectly done there, of course. And thanks to the people out in Reservoir, did a great job with that. Hey, this is an important game. Geelong travel to Patterson Stadium to take on Fremantle, who need a win badly. The team, of course, that played in last year's grand final. 4 wins, 4 losses. They need one. The Cats are ticking along nicely with 6 wins and a loss, and they travel very, very well. Now, before we get the boys' thoughts on this particular game, we need to pay great tribute to one of the greatest footballers to ever play the game at any time for any club anywhere. Matthew Pavlich, we looked at Spud Frawley before, Gary. This particular gentleman is the reason why some of his grey hair's there, because Richmond passed on him and he was taken at pick 4 in the 99 national draft by Fremantle. He is a 6-time All-Australian, a 6-time best and fairest, a 7-time leading goal kicker at that club, Ross Glendinning medal, in other words, the best player in the Derby, as they call it over there, on 3 occasions, the captain of that club from 2007 to today, and on the weekend he will play game number 300, having kicked nearly 600 goals and amassed 122 Brownlow votes. No matter which way you look at it, this is one of the greatest players ever to play the game. So to Matty Pavlich, who's also been a panellist on this show on more than one occasion, you are a superstar. Congratulations on everything you've done in an amazing career. Shane?
Well done, Matty Pavlich. That is the reason I think Fremantle will win, because of the milestone.
Yeah, I agree with Shane. It'll be a good game, but Freo too strong in Pav's 300th.
Agree with the other 2 boys. I think for his 300th, they'll get over the line for him.
There's that nonsense again, Gary. Milestone games
travel.
mean absolutely nothing.
Who are you
Milestone
going for?
games. I'm going for the Dockers.
Gary? No, I am going for Geelong. And
Hey,
just
good on ya.
Thank you. On Matthew Pavlich, 6 All-Australians. He was a full-back in the All-Australian team, a half-forward, a centre-half-forward, twice on the interchange and full-forward as well. So not only a great player, but versatile to boot.
Hey, Gary, next week we're at 8:30 on Thursday,
Oh, no,
and this
are we?
show, you go one-on-one
Not
with
again.
one of the hottest talents in
don't
Hollywood.
bring it up, Jim.
Hugh
No.
Jackman wants a piece of Gary.
Yeah.
He said, I'm only doing one interview, it's with Gary Lyon. Then we cross over to Adelaide. Shane
Ordinga.
is playing football at Ordinga for the Sharks and trying to lift them up off the canvas. And Bill Brownless, Gaz, 200th panel first panellist to achieve that lofty note.
And some of the most extraordinary things we've ever seen on the Footy Show from this man, Bill Brownless. And he will be celebrated big time. Not forgetting Thursday night at 8:30. You don't want to miss it. We're going to take a break. We're going to wrap up what's been a very sharp Footy Show. Sponsors Nissan, Home Timber and Hardware, Sportsbet and Repco for the magnificent ongoing support in our 21st year. Jim Boy.
Congratulations again to the Essendon Football Club, who will wear their call to arms Guernsey, the yellow armband, of course. And the club's been wearing it since 2006 as a sign of support for former bomber Adam Ramanauskas and all men who have been affected by cancer. The players sign these jumpers. They'll be auctioned off post-match via bombershop.com.au, and all proceeds will go to Cancer Council Victoria. So well done again.
Get on board,
to the Essendon Footy Club.
Great work. Well done, This is a great man. Samuel.
A friend of mine and all golfers, a man called Peter Nolan, is struggling with Hodgkin's lymphoma, and there's a benefit fundraiser for him. I could go through this fantastic prizes from some of the world's top golfers, signed equipment and memorabilia. And Craig Kelly, the buzzard, is going to play golf with a couple of people who win, and he's donated some seats to the Footy Show here. So if you want more information, go to the Footy Show's Facebook page and you can see it, and it'll be fantastic fundraiser for a great man called Peter Nolan.
All right, well done to you, Samuel. Well done to the panel, Nicky Del Santo and Brocky Mclean. Good luck to on the weekend. Shane Crawford is making a comeback on Saturday. Good luck.
And don't forget Tuesday, Street Talk. Nude
Street Talk at Aldinga.
Get down and join him.
And we'll bring you all the fun and festivity from Aldinga next Thursday night when we're back at 8:30. We'll see you then. Good night.